Well, this was a lot better than I was expecting it to be.
Oh.
What about you, honey? What did you think?
It was alright.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to the Charming Analysis podcast. I'm Mari.
And Jay?
And today is another episode from our Halloween Spectacular for this year. Our third movie we're going to talk about is Ginger Snaps.
And we neither have seen this movie.
Either. I think that seems to be our trend for this year.
I
get it, honey. Anyway, I think this is a trend for this year that we keep seeing movies we've never seen before. But why don't you explain what Ginger Snaps is about?
It's about two sisters, and they're freaks for thinking about death a lot, and then one of them gets bitten by a werewolf, and then shit happens.
Pretty much. That's pretty much the gist of it.
Yeah.
But what did you think of it? Because I thought this was a great movie, honestly. This came out in the 2000s, like the year 2000. But I thought they did a great job with this movie for it being in 2000. What did you think?
It was... Oh my god.
You're always tired.
I am always tired. It's alright. I didn't think much of it, to be honest. It's just
interesting.
It's just kind of there. I mean, it's a female werewolf, so I guess it was more so nuanced if it was a female werewolf, but other than that,
You thought it was okay?
I thought it was fine. I mean, you can talk about it more than I can.
Personally, I thought this movie was really good. I liked that we actually get to see how the relationship between the siblings kind of develops over the course of the movie. They were originally really close, and then they grew farther and farther apart. The more that Ginger, who's the one that turned to a werewolf, basically was acting as, the more she became a werewolf, the more she was distancing herself from her sister B. That's the other sister. So I guess the first question I want to ask is, what did you think of the movie? Like, do you think it's one of those movies that is, like, memorable in your opinion? Do you feel like it's dated for, like, the 2000s? Or do you feel like it's one of the better movies that we've, like, seen?
It's fine for its time.
Okay. Well, let's see. You gotta actually talk about it, honey.
I know. I get it. It's a period metaphor. I understand that, but it's like I've seen that so many times in different forms of media. It's like
just period form.
Yes, it's just puberty. It's just like the puberty angle. It's like, I don't know. Maybe I just think of werewolves as something to where it's more like, I suppose, like, more monstrous than something that's supposed to be taken as an allegory. You know?
So,
they're
like,
fucking monsters. I don't want that. I don't care for them doing, like, the whole, like, allegory for
periods with
the real world. I don't care for that. I want to see the fucking monster.
Or just, like, have it separated from it. Like, still have the period movies, but just not have monsters associated with it.
I guess.
So, for me, I don't mind the idea of them doing it, but I feel like if it's to represent a period, they could have done something a bit different. But as like a actual horror movie, I thought it was really good. But something that I think can be compared to it would definitely be Turning Red, except this one's a lot more darker than Turning Red and stuff like that. That's the only other one I could think of that's like a period piece in and of itself, in quotes. Well, it's more of a modern period piece if you think about it, because it's one of Disney's, like, newer films. But, so I guess, what's something you liked about this movie? Because personally for me, I liked the relationship between both sisters. I thought it was interesting, but at the same time I felt really bad for, like, B throughout the entire thing, because her sister basically threw her under the bus and just treated her like shit. Like, I know that's kind of like, you know, sometimes that happens between siblings, but at the same time, it's like, I feel like Ginger could have asked for more help or just didn't want to admit that she needed fucking help. But every time she was trying to ask for help, she kept letting her period, in quotes, get in the way. Kind of thing. Do you feel like it would have been better if she asked for more help from her sister? Because I feel like that should have been what they did. Like, she should have asked for more help, honestly. Because I think the sister at this point was just... She was just too far gone. But I wasn't expecting the whole thing to play out like that, though. You know what I mean? Jay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I don't have much to say about this movie. I mean, it's alright.
Come on, you gotta have something to say. Like, come on.
I seeing the tail grow out, that's the first time I've seen something like that.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting that was happening, but I also thought it was crazy that she kept trying to cut the tail off. I'm kind of curious to see what it looked like if she actually like had the tail fully out, but at the same time,
we never seen it. We didn't even see it at the end.
Yeah, which I thought was surprising. Like, as much times as they've shown her having a tail, I'm surprised like they never showed her having the full-fledged tail at the end. Let's talk about the werewolf design. I personally don't like the werewolf design for this. They made her look way too fleshy to be a fucking werewolf. Like, she had, like, the fur, but I was expecting the werewolf to be a little bit more hairy than she was. Honestly. They just made her look way too fleshy. She basically looked like if a Sphinx cat was a werewolf. In a sense. What do you think? What did you think of the werewolf design?
It was alright. Like, I admire people with special effects, but like...
You feel like they could have done better?
Nothing wrong with the design. I just don't have many opinions about it.
That's actually crazy.
I don't have much to say. I'm just like, it was alright, but it wasn't something I would ever see again.
I'd probably watch it again, but I do have a question, though. What do you think about the ending to this movie? Because I feel like the last, like... Here's the thing. For the first, I think, hour or so... Or actually, the first 20 minutes, because this was like an hour 30 minutes. The first, like, 20 minutes kind of dragged a little bit, but then... The last 20 minutes, it's weird. The first 20 minutes dragged, but the last 20 minutes went so fucking fast, like it's not even funny. Like, the actual ending to this movie, I was not expecting at all. Which I thought was a bit crazy. So first off, the thing that was kind of crazy about the ending to this... Basically, the sister dies, or both sisters die. I can't fucking tell. In the end, it looked like one of them died, but I'm going to actually look this up because I'm curious.
There is a sequel to the movie.
There
so if
is?
you don't want to be a spoiler for that, don't look up what happens.
Okay, then. Well, we're definitely adding the second movie to it because I'm curious to see what they do with it. But, I can't tell at the ending if they both die or if one dies, but somebody fucking dies. And I was not expecting the movie to go that way, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I was kind of surprised. What did you think of the ending, honey?
The sister dies. Good. It was the right thing to do.
Seriously?
It was.
I feel like they should have at least tried to attempt to save her. Like, come on. They should have at least attempted to save her at this point.
It was the right thing to do.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Bean. The sister fucking died.
And?
Why? Why wouldn't you save her? I would have saved her. I know she was a bit of a douche, but she should have, like, learned from her lesson at that point.
She's too far gone.
Seriously?
Yeah, she's too far gone.
Oh my gosh, are you fucking kidding me, Jay? Good lord. Why are you like this? Anyway... Personally, I thought that it's an interesting way for the story to go, but at the same time, I feel like they could have, like, tried to redeem her a little bit. at least enough to where she realized, oh shit, I fucked everything up. Like, she kind of realizes it a little bit, but because of the way her wolf senses kind of went, it kind of, like, overshadowed, like, all of everything. Like, basically, because of what happened, everything kept getting overshadowed. Which was an interesting way to go, but I feel like it could have been done a little bit better. I will say that. I'm trying to think, like...
It's the 2000 shit that I don't really fuck with myself. It's kind of a little bit dated and it's kind of a little bit boring. So...
It's not that bad, but for this one I thought it was a little more interesting because of the dynamic that the sisters had. Honestly, like, I thought it was an interesting kind of dynamic, but I get where you're coming from with it. Like, it is a bit dated. But besides that, I do think that they did a good job with the sister dynamic for it. I just feel like they should have, like... I feel like something's kind of missing out of it. I feel bad for the fucking mom, though. Where did she go for the rest of this? She literally was at the party that fucking vanished. We never saw her or the dad again. I'm curious if the dad fucking died, because we never saw him again. Mm-hmm. Like, this was, like, interesting. Like, the premise of it in and of itself was interesting. I will say that. I am curious, though, because you said there is a sequel, right? Mm-hmm. Does it take place, like, same year? Or, like, way later? Or what? Hello?
I have no idea.
I'm definitely going to have to look into it. But, okay, so I guess another question I do want to ask is, since we haven't seen the sequel, what do you think that they should do in the sequel to make it better?
I don't know. It's already been made.
Well, like, your opinion? I feel like this definitely needs a sequel. It needs some kind of, like, conclusion besides, oh, they're dead. Oh, the mom's gone.
Normally what they do for sequels is they just recast everybody and tell a completely different story, but...
What would they even tell with it? I feel like this one they could just continue it. Because I feel like they just left it hanging there. In my opinion. Like, it was good until, like, the last, like, 10 minutes when they were, like, trying to cure her and then the guy died. Like, the friend of hers died. After that whole thing, they fucked it up, in my opinion. That whole ending... like 10 minutes, last 10 minutes kind of like fucked with me at that point. I was just like, are you fucking serious? Mm-hmm. I liked a lot of this movie except for the last 10 minutes. The last 10 minutes, they could have fucking done a whole lot differently, in my opinion. But that's just my theory. What about you? Do you think they could have done better? At least a little? Okay.
I have nothing much to say.
Okay, well, since you don't have much else to say, I'm kind of just, like, rambling at this point. Let's just give our rating, because obviously the movie's basic. The movie is basic, and I'll give my rating first. Uh-huh. So, for it being a werewolf movie, it is a bit dated, but I will admit, though, I did like the relationship between the sisters. I did think that they did a good job with it until, like halfway through the movie. I feel like they kind of made the sister like a complete douche. Like, they did an entire 180 with her character. But I understand why they had to do it. But at the same time, I feel like something better could have been done. I feel like the sister could have been a little bit more redeemable than what they did with her. I feel like they basically kind of just killed her off, in a sense. But for it being the way it is, I would watch this movie again, honestly. Like, I did like the dynamic between the two of them. I probably would watch it again, maybe. I'd probably give Ginger Snaps... I'd probably give it, like, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's decent. It's decent. Hopefully, whenever we do watch the sequel for it, it might be better. But for what we got, I did think it was alright. So I give it an 8 out of 10. It's one of those ones I might watch again, but we'll see about that. I am curious what the sequel is going to be like, though, whenever we do watch it. So, besides you, Mr. Sleepy McSleepy Pants, what do you give the rating for Ginger Snaps? Come on. You gotta give some kind of rating.
I give it a 4.
You give it a 4?
Yeah.
Give me a reason behind you giving it a 4.
It was okay, and it's not going to leave much of an impact on me. So, there, 4.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that's basically our review for Ginger Snaps. I will be adding the sequel to our list because I think we should definitely see what the sequel's about, honestly, at this point. I'm surprised all the movies so far we've seen, I think minus Gerald's Game, have had sequels that we didn't even know existed. Like, what? That's crazy. Anyway, that's basically the end of our podcast for this one. It's a bit of a shorter one, but whatever. We're just doing what we can for this month. But be on the lookout for some more stuff coming soon. And as always, I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
And we're out.